Welcome, welcome, welcome. How y'all doing? Hope you're all doing fine. I'm doing good. Feeling pretty good about our little project today. So, I have today a little bit of the Homelite. This is part of the restoration we're doing. We're going to be powder coating one of the side covers. This for the clutch and chain cover here. Now, what's unique about this, I have to show you all this one, and how I do the two-tone powder coat. So for y'all wanting or thinking about getting into powder coating, this is one of the obstacles that come into play. Now this is a two-tone, so all this on the inside here is white, but the rest of it, everything else is going to be the blue color. So the first step, what we're going to do, we already went through, blasted all out, everything. The crack that we had here, I filled it. It wasn't bad. It was pretty flat when I put it back on the saw. So I'm not too concerned about it. I did fill the crack because I don't see it moving anymore or cracking anymore. I filled it with a aluminum filled filler. It's very strong stuff, and it can withstand the 400 degrees in the oven. It's called Metal Lab, and it's pretty much a ready to use repair and patching compound. So you can put this on, let it cure, and then sand it flat. And that's pretty much all I did here. And you can't even tell where it was. I don't wanna touch it because I just blasted and it's all clean, it's ready to go. So, but I'm hoping that the heat don't shrink that compound a little bit. It can withstand the heat, it says, but some shrinking can happen, so we may or may not see that crack a little bit, which I'm okay with since it is pretty flat crack. So I'm not too concerned about it, and it didn't go all the way through the whole piece, so I'm not too concerned about it. We'll see how it goes, but nevertheless, we'll get it fixed if it does. So we're going to shoot all this in the blue. We're going to flash bake it, which means we're just going to bake it enough to where the powder is glossy and flat. And then we're going to pull it out, cool it down, and let it cool, and then we're going to tape off all the blue. Actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. Let's shoot the white first. We'll shoot the white because that's a lot less to tape off in this little section here versus every single thing else that needs to be taped off. So let's shoot the white first. We'll shoot the white. So you got to think about those little things. I did get some new hooks, so we're going to try those out too. So we're going to go ahead and just shoot the white. All we're going to do is spray this outside. That's it. And then flash bake it. Then cover up our white with our heat tape. And then flash bake it again. Actually, you probably won't even need... I don't know. I'll think about it. There's a couple different ways you can go about this. Obviously, as my wheels are turning. Alright, so didn't want to touch it, but I want to switch that around. Alright. So, let me get my gun set up for the white. We're using a satin white along with the satin finishes the whole saw. So, let me get that set up real quick because I did put the blue in first. Let me clean the gun out, put the white in. Be right back. Okay. I think a little wobbly there. I think I'll stick you all on the pixel pod tonight. Joby Julanzi mount here. Joby. I'll stick y'all on there. Get her tightened up there. Stick you on here and then we stick you on the big one for all them, for everything else. Alright, so there we have it. That's the front cover. So basically we're just going to do the front, 'cause that's all we need. White. Get a little bit on everywhere else, it's fine. The blue would cover it. Oh man. Woohoo. Okay. Let me turn off that fan real quick. Yeah, that's gonna make a mess. Make sure I ground key it here. We are not plugged in, that's why. Yeah, make sure our unit's gotta be plugged in for the powder to stick. That would make sense. White's a little tricky sometimes because you can't really see where the powder's at. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Can't really tell how much is on it. There we go. All that powder falls right to the floor, so white can be a little on the heavier side, so that's a good thing. Alright, we just had to turn the unit on. Alright, so here we have it. This is our satin white. Hard to tell on bare aluminum, but it's on there nevertheless. So let's see if I can do all this by hand here. One hand or a couple fingers. Alright, here we go. Alright, we got our oven. We're just gonna stick this thing right in there. There we go. So, got a little powder on my phone here. So basically, we're just gonna keep an eye on this thing. Maybe 5 minutes at the most. At the most, I should say. Usually only takes a couple, 2-3 minutes, but 5 minutes at the most, and we'll see how it goes. And that we're just gonna flash it, so enough for where it's a little glossy and smooth, and then we'll let it cool, and then we can put our second color on after we tape off that white. So, yeah. So we'll be back. While we wait for that, I can show you. I'll get on this side. I'll show you the muffler. Here's the muffler. Yeah, a little bit of indentation there. I tried to straighten out as best I could. It was a lot deeper, but I did paint it satin black. This will go on the Homelite. This is for the Homelite. There we go. So yeah, that'll go on there. That should add pretty nice on there. Right? Set this off to the side. Quick. Oh yeah, looks real nice next to that Homelite there. So we're just gonna take a peek in there. I'll grab my little light here. Just gonna flash it. Yep, that's done. So I'll show you. Grab my glove here, and I'll show you the flash. Oh, we're just barely baking it. Just enough to get it flat laid out. Okay, so that's it. So it should still be a little on the wrinkly side, and because it's not completely smooth out. Okay, here we go. So it's just a little glossy. I can't get the gloss on there. You see yeah, you can see a little bit of the gloss on there. Okay, it's just smoothed out, so it's not a powder form anymore, which is what we were looking for. Okay, we're just gonna set that aside. And I already see our crack did come back a little bit. But you know what? I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I don't think it's gonna be too much of an issue. So, we'll let that cool off. We have another part here that I did apply some filler to. So that has to be sanded down flat, because I wanted that flat because it's a decal goes right there. I have the original decals, original style decals, I should say. So we'll get that all sanded down smooth, and then blast it all again. We're going to have to put a plug over our brass fitting here for the center of that pull coil, and I'm going to have to remove that as well. So other than that, it don't look bad. And then we got to figure out how we're going to want to lay out our colors, because on this one the only parts of white is this surface all the way around and this. Now I believe, I have to look in the pictures again, but these are blue and the rest else is blue. So we're going to have to think about our layout and how we want to do this. So, other than that, I'll bring you all back after I get this sanded, look at some pictures, tape off the other one, and we get that one baking. Okay, we're back. Now, I have everything all cooled down, waxed and greased it, had some porous, it's a porous metal, so some stuff does leak out, even though I preheated it beforehand. Bring you down here, because my bench is a little occupied. It still has some stuff leaking out of it, but I think I got it all. It's all cleaned up. Now the white, now we gotta leave the rim. That's gonna be blue. So this is definitely going to be a little tricky. So we're gonna tape off all of the inside. And this is where things are going to get a little tricky. But you take a nice good razor blade, follow around the edge real gently. I like to do my border, because you have a nice straight edge. I like to do my border with that edge of the tape. And I don't want to push the tape down too hard. There's different size tapes, different widths, different types. The orange one I found is far more better than the green. I don't like the green at all. Me personally, it shrinks up and it will mess up your powder job. Now my tape jobs are, I'm very, very picky on my taping jobs. As you can see, I'm very picky. I have to do this. This has got a little bit of a curve to it, so I might have to do it in smaller increments. I don't like stuff sticking to my tape, so I will get rid of that. So, this is pretty much the idea. Go around your border. I'm going to put another piece down here, follow that border. So, yep, that's all it is. And then I'll bring it back once I'm done taping, because it might take me a little bit. Because like I said, I'm picky. Okay, so we have everything all taped up. Pretty good. Except for that corner. I forgot the corner. Alright. So, now, what we're going to do now is we're going to spray this all blue. And then we're going to flash bake it again. We're going to keep a better eye on it this time. Very short time. Just enough to get this tape off after it cools. That way we don't mess up any of our white, hopefully. Sometimes it will soften underneath the tape, and hopefully we won't see anything. We may just remove it before we put it in, and then we can bake it at full time. So I'm thinking we might remove it before we bake it. That way you don't get the lines in there from the tape. Because sometimes it'll heat up and you'll end up with the lines on there. So let's move you over here. Let's see if I can put the hook on here. There we go. All right. So let's grab our blue here. I already cleaned up the gun, so I just got to put this in here. Now, when you're doing a second coat like this, you want to stick it, if you have a dual voltage system, you want to stick it on the second voltage. It'll help it stick to that second layer of powder coat. So, here we go. Sometimes when you're doing this double coating, that second color underneath, if it's lighter than what you have, on the top, then you might have to go back and put on another coat of your top coat that you're making, your top color that you're doing. Sometimes. This being a white background on it underneath, we might have to do this blue again. Hopefully not. Hopefully this will be okay. I think we got enough blue on there. I was hoping the powder wouldn't be stuck to that orange tape as much as it is now. Might be an issue, but let's leave it on, and then we'll flash it and we'll take a look at it and then go from there. That's what I'm thinking. Or do we remove it now? Well, I do have a little brush. Okay. We can take this little brush and we can brush off the tape. Only downside is that we don't want to hit that edge. Which I already have. So, that isn't going to work. Well, oh, I'll stop you all here and I'll bring you back to a final result. See what happens. Sometimes these double coat procedures, they take a little bit. So we'll see. There you go. Alright, I'm back. A little disappointed. So, yeah, I should have stuck with my original instinct and take the tape off prior to putting it into the oven. As I was explaining, sometimes you'll leave lines on the tape, and yeah, it's I don't know if this will help. No, that just whites it out. I'll wash out with the light. Yeah, there you go. I'll bring it up a little closer. The camera don't do it justice. It is actually really, really terrible. Like, really terrible. And, yeah. So, we're gonna stick with the tape and just deal with it to bare metal, not over already previously coated. So we're gonna strip this, redo it, but that's the general color. That's what it's supposed to look like. The white turned out perfect, color wise. So yeah, it happens. I should have stuck with my original instinct and just dealt with it that way. But hey, it is what it is. It's a learning process. It's a new tape for me. If I were to do this, I probably would have stuck with the fiberglass tape. But nevertheless, I'm definitely going to take the tape off prior to. This only worked on a couple things that I've done in the past where I could put the tape on and flash it, take tape off, and then bake it, and it turns out fine. Only a handful of times. Not very many. So I should have stuck with my original instinct and just take tape off. So, when you get your first color down, put the tape on, spray your second color, carefully take off the other tape, or take off the tape carefully, not touching all the secondary color, because that's just powder, it'll fall off. And then bake it. So we'll do that. So that's definitely going to be a redo. But other than that, the blue turned out real nice, just like the rest of the saw did. But yep. So that's going to have to be redone. I have some stripper coming in the mail, so we have to do that. Anyway, I have a few things I have to strip, clean up. So, well, that's that video. We're going to stop it there. I am working on the second piece. It's a flashing. And I am going to take the tape off for the second color, or after I spray the second color. And I'll probably use a automotive tape where it won't be as sticky. So, anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that. Watch me screw up. But that's part of the process. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So, anyway, no big deal. I hope you all have a good night, good evening, morning, whatever time it is you're watching this in your part of the world. And y'all be safe. Be good, be kind. Please spread the love. I'll see you on the next one.